Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Perfect and welcome back to another one of my YouTube tutorial videos on how to take down the newly released 7-star raid den boss in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. So to start things off, you're going to learn everything there is to know about this particular Pokemon, which is none other than Salamence. You're going to learn which Pokemon to use to counter this Pokemon and gain the ability to capture it. And third of all, be a proud owner of the Mightiest Mark Salamence with its FlyingTera Type. So let's jump into the details of this event. So as of today, let me just pull up the event here real quick. You go into the Poke Portal after you've obviously connected to the internet. If you're already connected to the internet, you just press the plus button. It's gonna bring you to the screen right here. It's gonna say face a mighty Salamence, which is basically the one we were talking about. So Salamence is appearing in Black Crystal's Tera Raid battles. You can try and capture, or you can try catching Salamence from Friday, April 18th until the 20th, which is today, until Sunday, and then it comes back again on April 25th until April 27th, which is next weekend. So that's amazing. So you have 2 weekends to actually try and take down these Salamence. And if in the meantime you would like to farm some Herba Mystica, you obviously can, because there is a 3% chance of this Pokemon dropping Herba Mystica. Now, Salamence is a peculiar Pokemon in this situation because it is a monster, right? Salamence with its hidden ability and a shit ton of HP like it has when it's in these raid dens is an absolute nightmare. Okay, so I'm gonna remove my face real quick from the screen so that I can show you guys every single detail there is to see. Clearly this is the Salamence you're gonna be fighting against. I caught mine in a Dream Ball because I thought of the Pokedex entry that that Bagon has, which is he dreams of someday in the future to evolve and be able to fly. So that's why I caught it in a Dream Ball. But that's not what this is about. So as you can clearly see, Salamence in 7-star raid dens that you can actually challenge this weekend comes with its Tera typing set to flying. It has its hidden ability Moxie, so it basically increases its attack stat by 1 stage each time it knocks down one of your Pokemon. It has the moves Tera Blast, Dragon Pulse, Earthquake, and Flamethrower. Now, one thing that is great, that is good to notice here is that Flamethrower and Dragon Pulse and Tera Blast are special attacks, as opposed to Earthquake, which is a physical attack. In competitive play, we call this a mix sweeper. Additionally to these 4 moves, Salamence also has 3 more additional moves, which are Heat Wave, which is the move that it starts off the battle with, Dragon Dance, and Breaking Swipe. Now, as I already stated, it comes with its nature, or I didn't really state it, but it comes with its nature quiet, and that basically solidifies the fact that this is a mixed sweeper rather than a physical or special sweeper. Mightiest Mark on the right side of the screen. There is really not much else to know about this. Now, the particular counter that we're going to be using for this Mightiest Mark Pokemon is none other than Eelektross. And Eelektross has been a very, favorite Pokemon of mine for a very long time. Just because, just look at it, bro. It's an amazing Pokemon, looks awesome. I love the design, I love its typing, I love everything about it. It's just that it's not that viable in online play, as far as I can remember, of course, because it's been for me about like 10 years since the last time that I actually did a Wi-Fi battle, which we used to call it back in those days. Anyways, so the counter versus this Salamence, ladies and gents, is going to be Eelektross. And you want to have your Eelektross at level 100, holding the Shell Bell item. Its Tera type needs to be electric. Its moves are Gastro Acid. Why? Because this basically nullifies or eliminates the target's ability. In this situation, it eliminates the Moxie ability of Salamence, which is literally the biggest challenge here. So having Gastro Acid on this Pokemon is a must. Then you need to have Acid Spray, because Acid Spray is going to allow you to deal more damage over the course of the battle, because it's going to be dropping the special defense of Salamence by 2 stages each and every time that you hit it with this. This chart is going to be your bread and butter, damaging attack, which can also paralyze, and Eerie Impulse is going to drop the opposing target's special attack harshly. And that is going to help us, increase our survivability, because, Salamence is going to start to use a lot of special attacks rather than physical attacks, because most of the physical attacks barely do any damage. So the EV spread that you were looking for when you were using Eelektross is 252 in HP and 252 in special defense, and the remaining in, obviously, special attack. Now, one of the additional benefits of using Eelektross versus Salamence is that it has its ability Levitate. Levitate negates Earthquake, which is awesome because you basically remove literally the one weakness that Eelektross has. Of course, if somehow, some way you get rid of the Levitate, but that's besides the point. The ability, or I would say the nature that this Pokemon should have is either modest or something that increases its special defense and lowers its attack. In my particular situation, I chose modest. Although the game says adamant, I used a modest mint to change its nature. On the backside, of course. Anyway, now that we know more or less what the counter is that we're going to be using against Salamence and basically what Salamence represents, we can basically go ahead and jump into the battle to start it off with. So I am about to demonstrate to you guys just how you can use this Pokemon to basically win this battle without so much of a lot of trouble. It is most likely going to take you down, without a doubt. It has to, because, you know, Eelektross is not the bulkiest Pokemon, and Salamence is an absolute monster. It's really, really strong. But regardless, we're gonna see just how the battle plays out. Alright, starting off here, my team selection is not good. I don't have an Intimidate team member, which makes everything a little bit more challenging. Now, Salamence is going to start off the battle by using Heat Wave. And it's going to hit everybody, which is totally fine. And we're going to start off the battle by using Eerie Impulse. Guys, so I had to redo the entire battle because I made a very big mistake at the very start. I didn't start off the battle with Gastro Acid, ended up allowing Salamence to take down one of my teammates, increasing its attack and special attack by one stage because of the Moxie ability, and yeah, everything was just down the drain from there. So again, guys, I'm gonna start off the battle here. This time around, I got 2 Intimidators on my team, which is absolutely fantastic. Now, one of the moves that, or basically the first move that Salamence is going to start off the battle with is going to be Heat Wave. Your first move should always be Gastro Acid, ladies and gents. It always should be that move, because if you don't do this, you're not going to have a good time. As a matter of fact, the chances of you winning are very, very slim. So now that we have done what we have to do, I am going to go for an Eerie Impulse. Now, the reason why I'm doing this is to increase my survivability. Obviously, Salamence is relying on mostly special attacks, and Eerie Impulse is going to drop his special attack by 2 stages, which is absolutely fantastic. Now, one of the things we can do in this situation, we can go either for Acid Spray or Discharge. Now, I'm going to go for the Acid Spray just to lower its special defense by 2 stages at this stage, because I think that is going to help me deal a little bit more damage if I end up surviving one more turn to use Discharge. Now, Salamence, as you can clearly see, oh, it's burned now, so I can't really paralyze it anymore, which kind of sucks, so that was really, really, really bad. Anyway, in comes the shield, which makes everything a little bit more challenging for us because we still don't have enough energy to terrestrialize. Now, what I'm going to do here is I am going to go for another Acid Spray. Or I actually should have gone for the Discharge, now that after the shield, he actually recovers from its status, but it's fine. We're gonna go for the Acid Spray here. That's gonna drop its special defense by 2 stages again. It's looking not too bad for us. I think if we can survive one more move, we can actually go for the Discharge, or you can do 2 things here. As you can see, yeah, that Salamence is not looking too good. I am actually going to go for a Hang Tough here. Sounds a little bit counterintuitive. I could have gone for another Acid Spray, but honestly, I think that getting a special defense and defense buff before I go... Whoa, I actually survived. I was expecting to go down, but it's gonna take me down anyway on the next turn here. So FlyingTera, I'm down. It's totally fine, because on the next turn that when we come in, we're gonna hit him one more time, gain some energy, and then from then I can terrestrialize and do all the shenanigans that I was setting up to do in the first place. Now, Salamence has all its stats, special defense mostly, which is the one thing that we need to focus on here. It's at -4, I think. Yeah, it's at no, it's actually at -5, really. Yeah, it's at -5. That's great. So we're gonna go for the Discharge. Now, what I'm looking for in this situation is I'm looking to paralyze Salamence. And it got paralyzed and somehow recovered. I don't know if you guys saw that, but now I'm gonna paralyze him again, which is great. Now it may be unable to move on the next turn, which is going to give us an opportunity to actually deal a little bit more damage and terrestrialize as well. So now that we are terrestrialized, it's going to be absolutely fantastic. Now here comes the breaking swipe, which barely ever tickles. It didn't do anything, but it's going to drop the attack stat by 1 stage of each one of our team members. But I'm totally fine with that. So I'm going to do this, terrestrialize, and then discharge. Now the timer now is past 50%. And it's not looking too good because Salamence is somehow, some way, still almost at full HP. But don't worry too much about it because we still got this in the pocket. Watch this. So I terrestrialize and I go for the discharge. I do outspeed Salamence, obviously, because it's paralyzed. And we're starting to do some significant damage now. If you remember correctly, Salamence still has that -5 special defense, so discharge is doing is hitting for a nice amount of damage. So it's great. We can go for another acid spray just to you know, go for that -6. But honestly, we need to catch up to the timer at this point. So we need to break the shield ASAP, and that's basically what we're gonna be doing for the upcoming turns. I also regain enough HP to the point where I go back to full HP, which is fantastic. So we have set up, you know, greatly. And one of the things that I've noticed now in this particular battle is that this Salamence is very lucky. It's not giving us any leadway in this situation. It's not getting paralyzed whatsoever. It's just constantly attacking, which is totally fine. All right, so Dragon Pulse comes in or comes out, hits me, and then yeah, again, totally fine. We are catching up to the timer at this point. The shield is gonna go down here. There we go. That's fantastic, and we're gonna go back to full HP. Now it's you know, it becomes a little bit of a repetition here when you are at this stage of the battle. But you know, this is the way we're gonna do this, because if you want to be able to capture these Pokemon, you gotta do it this way. I haven't even seen anyone doing taking down this Salamence any other way, and of course, you know, the internet knows better. At some point, people will come out with some builds that are going to be very, very effective. And by then, yeah, things are going to be a little bit different. But anyways, so Salamence recovers from its status, goes for the Dragon Dance, and basically removes all the debuffs that it had first on itself. So we're going to go for an Acid Spray here because essentially we have to do that. If we don't, we're gonna have a problem. We are going to have a problem because Discharge does not hit for that much. Discharge is not a very powerful offensive move actually. So we really have to make sure that things are going the way we want it to be. So I'm gonna go for another Acid Spray just to bring it down to -4. I am positive that unless I get critted, I can basically survive everything that this Salamence has to throw at me. Now that Salamence is back to -4 and the timer is definitely running out right now, but you know, it is just the price that we have to pay, unfortunately. Now out comes the Flamethrower, hits me. It does not burn me, thank God. It's now gathering a tremendous amount of energy, which is totally fine. But from this stage, from this part, we're just gonna spam the discharge, and we should be able to take it down before the timer goes to 0, which is exactly what we're looking for. So we're gonna hit it with the discharge here. I'm gonna bring down to red health. Obviously, the rest of our team members are going to be dealing some damage in the meantime as well, and we also regain 2/3 of our HP, which is, you know, great. Now out comes the Dragon Pulse again. The timer is running out. It's gonna be a very, very close call, ladies and gents. I'm gonna hit him again, right there in the face. Bam. And that is most likely going to be GG. Well play right there. So I'm almost went back to full HP. It's super close, but yeah, as you can see, we actually took it down. Now it is super close, and I'll be honest with you, almost every time that I battle Salamence, it's the exact same situation. You may be able to do it a little bit faster, but yeah, it is the way it is, man. At this point, the drops are, you know, Herba Mystica, Calcium. Those are the most important drops that you will get. And the first time that you take down Salamence, it will give you the TM 115, which is Dragon Pulse. So if you found this video helpful, guys, and you think that with this information, you can actually take down Salamence and you're going to be successful at it, make sure to drop a like because that means the world to me and it helps out you know, sharing this video and this information to the rest of the world as much as everybody else is trying to do, because we're trying to help one another out. Take care. Bye-bye.